We're live from virtual Grant Park in Chi-Town. iRacing welcomes you to coverage of race number 12 in the 2025 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series from the Chicago Street Course. 15 laps on the docket for a sprint race. It decides where you start in the main race later on tonight. Salas and Bias lead us to the front straightaway. We are green flag racing for the sprint race as they head to turn 1. And already battle for the race lead in turn 1. Bias gets shut out for third place, and Bobby Zelensky fires off through the inside of turn 1. He'll be on the outside of turn 2, and he'll give up the spot in contention for the lead. Wilson to the inside, and Sperry already trouble as they head for the right-hander here into turn 4 and 5. I've seen a bed with the board being that tall from the mattress, but Warman is right up against it, running in P13, and there's a mistake right in front, a crucial one. Michael Cozy Jr. going into the tire barrels, and he's going to take more out with him. Ryan Luza, Taylor Hurst among those involved. The three-car melee as they were coming through turns 4 and 5. Down the back straightaway, Vicente Salas will have a couple more corners left. Very difficult end of the circuit as we'll get a quick replay as to what happened entering the braking zone in turns 4 and 5. And that is a typical case of wheel hop. Rear end just stepped out. The ERA Esports machine goes into the wall. And again, it's so narrow, there's nowhere to go. It's a blind corner as well. So there goes Taylor Hurst. There goes Ryan Luza. And the rest is history. A reminder that the finishing positions here in the sprint race determine where you start when the feature kicks off later on tonight. But through East Congress Plaza Drive, through turn 11, it's up through East Jackson Drive for the final time in the sprint race. Vicente Salas, who seemingly has the hot hand here in the Coke Series, is going to grab the sprint race victory just like he did in Brazil earlier on this season. Checkered flag in the sprint race. Vicente Salas wins it from the Chicago Street Course. Chicago Street Racing for the third time in Coke Series history starts now. Salas and Wilson to the green flag.
Of those who would look to lunge, but it's now fourth on back where the challenge is, because Garrett Lowe on the outside has to work hard with Casey Kerwin trying to find a way through. Now he's going to have to go the long way around turn 7, and it's single track when you head to turn 8. Kerwin not looking to relinquish here, but it's on the wrong side of the road. Has to give it up through turn 8, and looking at their troubles though through the middle. Look at that for the 66. Finding troubles. Alexander Russell pinned to the wall. Williams car of Parker White wants to throw himself in, and this is how it all kicked off on the straight. Contact in the middle, and you just have to try and find a place to go. Look at the accordion.
It's 4 wide in turn 1. I'd say, Jake, in a road course and even at most other oval tracks, yeah, it does not work. Kwame Scott getting turned around and all of that. That was the first incident. Then here's the second, is that we're going into the corner. That's Ryan Luza, that blue, white, and black Toyota Camry in the middle. And as he goes into the corner, I think may have either had some help. Yeah, he did, from the 39 of Daniel Falkingham. And because how narrow this track is, especially where that corner is, Russell, Taylor Hurst among those, Nate Stewart also getting involved for the piece of it. There's literally nowhere to go. You got to go either to the inside or the outside wall.
Looking for any opportunity through. That's on Timmy Holmes here, who started at the very back, has gained 11 places in the first 5 laps, and eyeing up Alexander Russell, who's looking for a way through on Blake McCandless.
Definitely helps out when you're able to skip away from some of the early troubles, especially around this portion of the racetrack. Here comes Russell diving to the inside, trying to plant underneath that C4 Energy Chevrolet of McCandless. McCandless will give the spot up going into East Congress Plaza Drive again.
Underneath him to make this work, but the Arby's car right now is really trying to work, especially with that all-new quarter pound of 100% Angus steak in that steak sandwich that you got there, and that is not how you want to do it. Straight on, almost heading towards the yacht club.
Oh, that car in turn 12 did not have the front bite to make it through the apex, and so the RB's car going to be at the back, but that reminds me. Well, E-Racer co-owner Parker Kligerman once said during a track walk that if you're not touching the walls here at Chicago Street Course, you're not going fast enough. So you watch that onboard with Casey Kerwin. He is just about a couple centimeters away from the inside and outside walls. That's to gain as much speed and gaining that bit of an advantage as much as possible. Here's the onboard look from the 31st place car. 3 wide, nearly there, going up the bridge Femi Olatunbosin getting a good look at Timothy Holmes, who washed up, went to the outside of the corner. In went Blake McCandless, in went Kwame Scott, and this is a 5-car battle. Jake Sperry from 29th on back.
I'd expect that a lot of drivers are going to be dealing with understeer issues right now, especially trying to get it stopped. As we're going to take a little look further back, this is with the number 8. So this was Blake McCandless finding out just how difficult this circuit is. This looks like it's the run down towards turn 6 out on circuit from a mile back. Tries the 7 to go and make that move, feeds him the wall to make that happen. Femi Olatunbosin needed the Hubble telescope to make that pass.
Oh, it was way back, diving into the corner, using every bit of the brake rotors there at the front end of the race car.
Gave a little bit of a shove as he went by, and Ryan Luzer went cookies. Oh, good. Oh boy, thank you, I'll have that.
And here in turn 2 is coming Nick Ottinger for the inside in 15th place. That last time at the stripe, Falkingham was a full second slower than the Audi boss in his William Byron Esports entry, and flailing into turns 4 and 5 through the narrow walled section to the right-hander. Nick Ottinger plants his way forward and gets top 15 credit. Only problem is, lost a bit of time inside the final few. Here's the onboard look from Steven Wilson, who last time was about a full 10th faster than your race leader on the racetrack. And remember, back in the late goings of the sprint race, wasn't enough time for Wilson to make up the ground, but Jake, he was closing in, and that was something of notice. So with a lot more time left in this race, many more laps to go, Wilson can try to finally put an imprint of this off of turn 2. He's within a second. And look up the road. That is lap car Blaze Crawford going to let these two drivers by for the battle for the race lead into East Congress Plaza Drive. But that was a big moment. It kept Wilson within striking distance, although he is still faster. That dirty air right up in front of the 11 car for the first time all night long may have just allowed Wilson to get that bit more of an advantage through the tight bottom sector of this street course. And off of turn 12, he's now within 6 car lengths of the race leader. They'll cross the line for 8 laps to go from Chicago, Illinois. And now in the rearview mirror looking is Vicente Salas. Jake, what do you think now as you try to mount on this defense from the best driver of the series this year?
Wilson now within half a second here, and for him, it's now a case of Vicente Salas is just trying to do what he can to stay away. It's still enough of a gap at the moment, but each lap right now, you know, you're ticking down the laps, That lap counter going down from Vicente Salas is going to be creaking with each and every time, because he'll be feeling, well, it's still 5 laps to go. It feels like it should be 2 left.
They'll come around to 4 laps to go. Next time by from the Chicago streets. So far, Salas holding on, but the armor starting to crack a bit.
Is another one where Vicente Salas is being put through the ringer. If there is any truer test of what you've got from a former champion, all troubles there that goes through, that's Dylan Old dropping 3.
Whether that dirty air playing a big role in this or not between these two drivers, it is helping Salas maintain the defense right now to 2.5 laps to go. But I don't know, Jake. It seems like desperation may be in the cards for Wilson if he wants to get this road course win.
It's not much. It's a car length and a half going through 8 in towards 9 and then over through 10 and 11. This is the last great places to go and make these moves. Steven Wilson not looking to risk this race at the moment. Vicente Salas, who has driven flawlessly, has led 44 laps of racing here tonight. Here from the racing excellence that we have seen at Chicago. But Steven Wilson now takes the white flag waved by Barney. Now he's got to think about where, not just when, where. Zelensky stalks on the back, looking for each and every chance. But is there going to be a throw at turn 2? Down the inside, trying to open up, pry it open with a crowbar. Steven Wilson with the inside, heading to turn 3. Money as far as money can get. Here comes Bobby Z.
And what a power move in turn 4. Zelensky's there and he's in the wall. He'll catch Wilson and Salas as they come down to turn 5. Absolute mayhem as Wilson planted in the inside of turn 2. Thought he had the race lead. Zelensky sent it all through, and the money just might be wasted in this final lap. It may be Chicago, and there's a brand new dynasty building in the works. Vicente Salas, off the final corner, captures his second victory of 2025 and first at the Chicago Street Course.
He held with just one straight.